Right, I'll just show you how to set a drawing up in DraftSight to scale using dimensions. It's different to AutoCAD a little. It's a bit more like old school AutoCAD. Some of it's better and some of it's worse. Let's just open up just some objects. Right, so I'm going to go into layout 1. I'll put a border in. I'll just delete that viewport. The viewport that CAD draws is utterly useless more often than not. I'll open an A3 border that I've already got. I'm just going to just ignore the white sheet of paper behind it. That's fine. I'm just going to select all this, Control C, and then we'll go back into the other drawing. So I'm in sheet 1, layout 1, or whatever, paper space as it's known. I'll just Control V and paste that in. Of course, you could then zoom in and double click this and edit the text. I'm just going to create what's called a viewport. So I'm going to cut a hole through this piece of paper so we can see the model behind it. We have to do this first in a lot of CAD programs, and DraftSight's no different. I'm just going to type MV, make viewport if you like. I'm just going to type P for polygon on, because then we can do one that's the shape of this viewport window rather than a rectangular one. I've just pressed F3 to make sure I'm snapping to the end points of my lines. I'll just pan down. It's up here where it... oh, have I not picked up... yeah, I have, yeah. There you go, across. I thought I'd not picked up the top line of that border then. I'm just going to press C to close it. That'll take me back to where I started from. C, enter. That's drawn a you know, a viewport kind of thing. I'll double click inside this viewport and I can zoom around and stuff like that. To set it to scale, there's no drop down scale in DraftSight. You just type Z for zoom and then 1 XP for 1:1 scale, or 2 XP, oh sorry, Z first, 2 XP for 1:2 scale. Zoom 0.5 XP would be 2:1 scale. If you wanted to view this at like 1:100 scale, in CAD you could choose from the drop down or type Z enter 1 divided by 100 XP, and that'd zoom it 1:100 scale. That doesn't, it's not like that in DraftSight. You basically get a calculator. 1:100 scale, you do 1 divided by 100. You'll be able to do this in your head anyway. Equals, right, 0.01 of course. So you do Z enter 0.01 XP, and that's 1:100 scale. It's tiny on this because these are really small items. If I do zoom 1 XP, that's them at 1:1 scale as it is. So at 1:100, they're really small. Let's say you had a large building and you wanted to draw it at 1:250. You do 1 divided by 250 equals 0.004. So in here, you do zoom 0.004 XP, and that'll be 1:250. I'm just going to undo that. Once you've set your scale, and only when you've set your scale and it's finished, right, just double click outside of that viewport, and that's locked the scale correctly. Once your scale's been locked, go into model, and then just click on dimension, smart dimension, and just click the lines that you want to dimension. You can click linear or whatever. I'll just snap that to there. Now, I don't like it in that case because it's not left a break. So what I'd do in that instance is I'd choose a dimension, a linear dimension, choose that endpoint, and then you know, pan down and choose that endpoint, and then choose there as the third position. Then it's the same as CAD. You can, you know, if you've got a circle, C enter for circle. You can dimension it, do its radius. And if you want it to report, that's doing it in fractions of a millimeter. Just type dim style. You'll get a dialog box that comes up for dimension style. Just change your, for radial dimensions or whatever, oh sorry, change it under linear dimensions actually. Just set your precision to 0 for whole millimetres. Just OK that. That'll update then. It'll round for you as well. There you go. The rest of it's like using regular AutoCAD, but just for setting to scale and doing dimensions. Yeah, set it to scale first because the dimensions aren't annotative. So if you start changing the scale in here, the dimensions get smaller with it. However, if you set your scale first and then do smart dimensions or whatever, it'll set it to the correct size. That's it for DraftSight.